By the way, 2 wins in a row. We're going for 3. We're going for the sweep again. We got the broom out. Hey everyone, I'm meteorologist Brad Maushart. Continue to keep you updated. Almost got struck by lightning there. It looks like a good day for it. Better than the rest of the week, though. This will probably be the best game of the series because we'll see better storm chances Wednesday into Thursday. More on that in your full forecast coming up. Bob.
Everything you just put on my screen there blew my mind. Brad Maushart, I just want you to know.
Good Monday evening, everyone. 20 minutes past the 6 o'clock hour here on your Monday. This is some video coming in as these storms rolled through the Evendale area. It looks like a tree. Wow, that's crazy video. Whoa, that is not what I was expecting. I thought the tree was already down. There's a tree down in this video. This was up in the Evendale area, a very large tree and what looks to be a very live tree down with some of this damaging wind. This is what's been knocking power out. This very same situation across the tri-state. 7:06 just after the top of the hour in Lewis Township and eventually over here towards the West Union area and the Peoples area by the time we hit the bottom of the next hour, about 7:30 to 7:40. This has a history of wind damage. I haven't seen any official measured gusts other than 50s, 60s in some of the northern communities up here towards the Middletown Airport. I think we had a gust a little over 50 miles per hour, but again, just because it's not hitting the airport doesn't mean it's not hitting somebody with 100,000 plus without power. That is where we're likely seeing rotation. Let's see if we have anything showing up as well, and you can certainly see it. That is likely where we're seeing debris lofted into the atmosphere. This is a radar product, dual pole radar product that we can see when all red is typically uniform raindrops. When you start to see other colors, greens, blues, it's likely debris, things that are not similar, so trees. Perhaps pieces of houses, vehicles. This is what we're looking at right now. So this is just southeast of the Goshen area, northern Claremont County, east and southeast here of Woodville Pike, and just north of the Monastery. If you're down in Modest, take those precautions right now if you haven't done so already. Warning, get down to the lowest level of your home. And if you don't have a basement, basement's the best place to be. If you don't have a basement, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Get away from all the windows. An interior room like a bathroom or a closet usually work the best. Lay down in the bathtub, and that's the best way to treat this. As this storm continues to push its way on off to the east. Now a very dangerous situation just west of Goshen. Then the tropical moisture starts to clash with that stalled out front. You can see it's effectively going to wring out that moisture out of the atmosphere like a sponge because that cold air just can't hold it. So it's going to be waves and waves of rainfall starting off Tuesday, lasting into early Wednesday. And then by about this time Wednesday, that heaviest rainfall will be pushing its way on off to the east. We'll start to dry back out by Wednesday afternoon. And then cooler, drier air rushes in as high pressure sinks in for the rest of this week.
This is Brad Moushart's hour-by-hour forecast.
Hey, good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. It's going to be a messy stretch here ahead the next 24 hours or so. You want to stay ahead of some of those showers. Good way to do it. The free Local 12 Weather Authority app. Just one of several ways you can get these weather warnings that I'm sure we're likely to see in a few spots here as we work way through the rest of our Tuesday and into early tomorrow morning. The biggest threat will be the flooding outside. Rain showers this afternoon for the most part. They're going to be a nuisance outside. It's going to make roads wet, but it's not really going to be too much of a problem until later on this evening. That's when the more widespread rainfall, more intense storms start to move through the area and winds start to gust a little bit more, up to about 25 miles per hour. The heaviest rain happens through the early overnight when you're sleeping, so that's why you want to get those warnings in several different ways. Winds at that point gust over 30 miles per hour. And in that time span, some spots could see more than 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. It's going to be a big problem into Wednesday morning. You can bet it's going to slow things down a little bit. But at least for right now, just cloudy, cool outside, temperatures in the mid-70s. The heaviest rainfall still just off to our south as the center of what's left of Ida. Still a tropical depression outside this afternoon. Push now across the state line into central Tennessee. That system going to be heading almost due northeast through eastern Kentucky. And as it gets a little bit closer to us, this widespread band of rainfall that's going to be bringing us all the problems will slide a little bit farther northward, clashing with that stalled out front that we saw yesterday that brought us all the rainfall yesterday. So some areas already very saturated, and that's why that flood threat going to be a problem. Just in case you hadn't heard, we already have Kate out here in the open Atlantic. That system fairly weak out there, a tropical depression. We could also see Larry here just now off the coast of Africa in just the next couple of days. It's all timely because this is typically our peak time for hurricane season, getting closer to September 10th, the normal peak in activity. So not uncommon to have that many named systems going on at once. Down to the south, they're still dealing with flooding, obviously, throughout the Gulf Coast. Flood watch in place through that darker green shaded area through much of the mid-south and back up towards the east coast, including our southeasternmost communities. Now, like I mentioned earlier, some of those expire about noon tomorrow, and then we should start to dry back out. But the excessive rainfall outlook, think of it like the severe weather outlook we have, slight, moderate, high risk. A moderate risk, which was just in our fringe communities just earlier today, they've extended that backwards. So pretty much the southeastern half of the area. Moderate risk for flash flooding. What that means, it's pretty likely we're going to see in those red shaded communities at least a few flash flood warnings, especially those smaller creeks, tributaries where it doesn't take much rainfall to get those to go back up. If you live next to that, you live in a flood prone area, just make sure to stay very, very weather aware, at least through tomorrow morning. So the heavy rain starts to push in about 5, 6 o'clock. It lingers through the evening hours tonight. That's why the Reds game tonight, even though it's an earlier start, probably in jeopardy. We'll see what happens with that. The good news is it looks like they'll get tomorrow's game in because that heavy rainfall does push out as early as 9 to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then we air dry in a few spots. By the time it's all said and done, depending on where that heaviest band of rainfall ends up, and it's likely to be southeast of town, 2 to 3 inches plus. Up to the northwest, don't expect a whole lot in Fayette and Union counties, probably about a quarter inch, and that's just about it. And then we'll air dry. Gusts to 25 tonight. By the time we hit this evening, we'll dry back out, and we'll hang on to some gusts up to 30 miles per hour until those winds calm down into Thursday. Next couple of days, really nice outside, but we're going to keep an eye on the rivers, even the big ones. It does look like we'll jump a good amount in the Ohio River back above the action stage into Saturday. It's the smallest rivers we're worried about for flash flooding, but we'll get a nice chance after that to dry back out Thursday and Friday, and temperatures remain comfortable as we work our way into the big weekend for fireworks. And it does look like outside of the slimmest of chances for a shower on Sunday, things look nice for that with highs in the lower 80s. Liz?